Hello everyone. This is Maria with mariascraftingcorner.com. Welcome to another paper crafting video. I'm just so excited you're here with me today. So today's video is for the Global Stamping Video Hop. And if you've followed me for a little bit of time, you just know how much I love these kind of collaborations, video hops, blog hops, it doesn't matter. I love them all. So I'm really glad you're here because you're going to have a lot of fun in this video, and then you'll just have to click down below and you'll see all the links to the other videos from the people participating in these hop. Now, if you don't know much about the Global Stamping Video Hop, it is a group of demonstrators around the world, and we just gather once a month around one theme, and we just have total freedom to get to you something beautiful. Usually cards, let's face it, but sometimes there's other things. I think I have not really, now that I think about it, I don't know if we've had, I don't know, some other type of paper craftings, but that doesn't matter. I get distracted. Let's just say amazing crafters around the world that are here to just create something beautiful for you. And you'll learn tips and you'll learn tricks around the world. That was funny. No, you will learn a lot in this collaboration. Anyways, I get distracted, guys. You know me very well. Let's go to talk about some of the news within Stampin'Up. I know, guys, it's hard to track, but I just want to highlight two things. One of them are the kits for October. If you don't know, Stampin'Up is putting kits every month, and these are the ones that we added in October. This includes these beautiful tags. They're called Nutcracker tag, I think. And then you have the Common Bright kit, and you have probably my favorite, Remember Christmas kit, because it's like a mini album. So I just think, guys, again, this is one of those things that are really worth it. The tags, for example, are super useful in the holiday season, and then you kind of have like the whole set, right? You have the tags for your gifts, you have the cards just to send and mail cards, and then you also have a little mini album that you can either give as a gift, which is a really, really good idea, or that you can have to just save all your memories. So great combo here for the holiday season. And then I want to remind you of the paper pumpkin kit. This is you'll have until the 10th of November to subscribe. And as you can see in this picture, guys, we have, it talks about gift cards or small treat boxes. I have not seen them. Obviously, we don't ever have like a lot of information on what's coming, to be quite frankly. We have the same picture that you're seeing here. But I just think it is a great addition for the holiday season. I just think it's amazing that you have, just a little treat box or a place to put your gift cards for this time of the year when that, gifting is part of it. Now, I want to highlight that if you see that little box in there, that box is in mossy meadow, which means to me that if I need extra boxes, let's say for Thanksgiving, because I'm planning something for my Thanksgiving, dinner, something special. You can just decorate those with leaves in, regular fall colors, and it will be amazing too. So let's go to the crafting table. Okay, guys. So I don't know if it's just me, but every time I think of ombre, I think of using my blending brushes to create the ombre effect, right? And I don't know what's wrong with my lighting here, so hopefully it will get a little better as we go today. Okay, guys. So I don't I don't know if it's only me, but whenever I think of ombre, I think of blending brushes all the time. And I think we're going to stick to that today, although part of me is like, I've used so often blending brushes in the videos for the Global Stamping Video Hub that I hope is not repetitive. The only advantage is that we're going to use the blending brushes, but we're going to create something different with them. So I hope it's not too repetitive in that sense. If I had all the colors in the blending spots, in this ink spots, and if you don't know what ink spots are, those are just little spots, little ink pads from Stampin' Up. I would use these instead and kind of like create the ombre with the ink spots like that. But I don't have all the colors that I want to utilize for this card because we're going to be making kind of like a Christmas card. Not kinda. Well, I guess we're going to be making a card with snowflakes, which can be used for Christmas. It can be used for a birthday in January or many other things, right? Truly, if you think about it. So I'm going to be using my new favorite color combination, and that is Secret Sea, Misty Moonlight, Boho Blue, and Cloud Cover. Now, I know, guys, Boho Blue is retired. If you are a demonstrator or if you've been a client of Stampin' Up, you probably have had this already. We are going to use the four of them, but then we're going to try to see if we can just blend these two together. It may be that we're able to do that and not use the Boho Blue. I just feel that there needs to be kind of a color in the middle because the Misty Moonlight is fairly dark compared to the cloud cover. So let's see what we come up with. Now I have my stamping brushes in here. I thought I had them all. I have Blow Blue, I have cloud cover. This would be Misty Moonlight, and somehow I got rid of, here it is, Secret Sea. So here's Secret Sea, and we are going to bring a piece of old and used Greek paper. You guys know I save them all the time. And we're going to start with Secret Sea. I'm wondering, no, you know what, guys? Let's start with the lighter one. And I know the light is kind of off today. Every so often, this new camera gives me some trouble. So, okay, so I'm going to start with our cloud cover. If you know cloud cover, it's pretty light. It's kind of like a bluish grayish tone. Quite frankly, it's probably my favorite tone from the new in colors. And I know that it's given Stampin' Up some headaches because there were some issues that happened, especially with the color, with the ink. For whatever reason, the ink and the pad just did not get along. I don't know, guys. I guess that happens. And yeah, it's given them quite a bit of a crazy just they had to retire them, and anyways, and it's just this specific color and this specific product. But yeah, it's just funny how things work. Okay, so as you guys can tell, I'm using quite a bit of my cloud cover here initially because I know it's lighter and the other blue colors that we're going to be using are much darker. And now I'm going to move, and actually I'm going to move this like this, guys, so it helps me kind of like divide these in quarters. And I'm going to bring now Boho Blue in here. And as you guys can see, again, this is quite a jump. The cloud cover is definitely much grayer than Boho Blue. And so you can totally see that kind of like difference between both colors, right? So I'm gonna add these. We're just adding the colors for right now. We'll keep on going. I'm bringing now Misty Moonlight, and that's the secrecy. Where did I put my Misty Moon? Oh, here it is. Just kidding, guys. I found it. And again, Misty Moonlight, one of my absolute favorites. And as you guys can see, it is a much darker, grayer color, right? I think it could compete easily with Night of Navy, which is another of my favorite colors. So I am just adding some of that Misty Moonlight, and we're going to bring now Secrecy, which, if you know it, it's a very, very, very dark blue, right? Really, really dark blue. Quite frankly, from all the colors, all the ink colors, the Misty Moonlight, these Secret Sea and the cloud cover are definitely my favorite. So all I'm doing now, guys, and it's something that we've done before, and it is just now helping that transition between the darker colors and the lighter colors. And so I am bringing now, let's see, this is the Misty Moonlight, and I am just going to go and kind of soften that transition so it looks much more natural. And I love, one, I have to be completely honest with you guys, I love ink blending. It just, to me, it just creates such a soft, beautiful look, right? And now we are bringing our boho blue in here. And as you guys can tell, it's a much darker, and it's quite a different color from the cloud cover. But that's the advantage of using ink blending, and it is that you are able to kind of make everything match. And I'm bringing back cloud cover, and I'm just really adding some cloud cover to that, to my blending brush, because now what we're going to do is we're going to have cloud cover kind of invade boho blue quite a bit. Okay, so I think that my goal here is to ink blend as much as possible with the boho blues, so we kind of get that grayish tone. We're kind of converting the boho blue into a little bit of a grayish tone along, just because we're adding that cloud cover. Okay, see how it changes? Little by little it changes, and so at some point it really like changes so completely that it makes the transition much better. And let me bring this up here so you guys can see how beautiful this looks. This is the Secret Sea. I'm just gonna darken some of these panels in here. And I'm bringing my Secret Sea without a lot of cover, and I'm darkening all the edges because, like I mentioned initially, we're going to do 2 different cards, hopefully. Again, if we're lucky, we'll make 3. We'll see how that goes. But I like darkening the edges. It just makes it, to me, look more kind of complete. And bringing again my cloud cover and going over with that one. And I think I'm going to let this be for 1 minute. Let's go ahead and put all this stuff out of the way. Before we go anywhere, I'm going to bring a piece of paper. So let me bring this piece of paper because I'm really curious as to what would happen if we add, and I'm just going to do this, the moonlight, Misty Moonlight, I don't know, all of a sudden I forgot what I was trying to say, alongside with the cloud cover. I just want to see what happens with them. And if we would get like some good option. Okay, that was really lame, but you know what? It's not that bad. It's a matter of working it through, I think. You see the changes here? So you can actually probably skip Misty Moonlight, I'm thinking, and just use cloud cover and, I mean, Misty Moonlight, Boho Blue, sorry guys, and just use cloud cover directly with Misty Moonlight, right? It seems like you can do that. So I'm just putting it out there. Uh-oh, I shouldn't have thrown away that piece, because in the other side it has some measurements that I'm going to need for later. So okay, let's put away all our ink pads for now, because we don't want any drama to happen. So, and we'll put these away too. Let's go and put that far away. And now we have, guys, our little panel. So let me bring this back in here. It looks so beautiful. Okay, let's bring back the panel that we just made. I just absolutely love this color combination. Totally. I have made so many cards with these color combination. It's kind of funny. Now we're going to be using the Delicate Pines bundle. I love that the snowflakes are really just like little pine needles. I just love it. And I am thinking, so initially I thought, okay, we're just going to cut some of the snowflakes in here, and we'll just have a variety of snowflakes. Wouldn't that be cool? But now I am thinking, do I want to, so some of these are very big, like I would definitely try to use just the smaller ones. So I'm bringing them out here. So we have those smaller ones. I have a really, really small one. We're going to be using that one too. So now I'm thinking, do we want to heat emboss in white and then cut them? Yes, I think that's what we're going to do. It happens. Sometimes I'm like crafting right there with you. And yes, so I am bringing my little powdery tool. I forget how this is called, guys. I know it's got a name. I always forget the name. It's fine. But we really need it today because this panel is quite wet, because it's full of ink, right? So I'm going to do that. And at the same time, I'm going to to warm it up so it dries better. Be right back. Okay, so now that we've done that, we already applied some of the powder that helps stuff not to stick to it. We're going to bring our Versamark ink and a couple of blocks, and we're going to do, whoops, blocks alongside with acetate. Nope, that's not what we need. And we are going to stamp around a few of these beautiful snowflakes. So I'm turning this around, guys. Sometimes it's easier for me because I feel when I do the other way, sometimes I feel it does not get as much ink as it should, and here I'm technically seeing what's happening. So we're going to bring one of them and I'm going to stamp it up top here, and I'm going to get again, and we are going to ink well again, and we are going to stamp one at the bottom. Okay, so there we go, and I'm gonna go on like stages, because I feel that way the Versamark ink does not dry. So let's go ahead and bring our white embossing powder. Thankfully, adding and drying the panel helped quite a bit, but I still see areas where it's not totally dry, and we're going to have to clean it together, guys. So let's see how this goes. It's not too bad. We think that it was let me bring that if we think that it was so wet, right, it was not too bad. So all we have is some here, and I just have these a smaller brush. Our Stampin' Up has a bigger brush, so but it is good for like bigger areas. See, like for bigger areas, perfect. But for smaller areas, I'd rather use something smaller. This is just something I got from Amazon. If you've been here before, you know that there are tools that I don't really use often. Brushes are one of them, and so, or these type of brushes, and so really I am not going to there we go. I am not going to buy expensive brushes if I am not a painter. But let's go ahead. I'm going to heat emboss this and I'll be right back. Okay, so we have our two beautiful snowflakes, and I'm going to bring this one because I really like that one too. So we're going to go back and tap, tap, tap on that one. Make sure it's well inked, and I'm just going to put one on one edge and probably one on the other, and one in here. And it's hard to see, I know you guys know that, and I'm just bringing again our white embossing powder, and we are going to work on this one. So I'll show you here in a minute why I'm doing this several times. It's the other one did not, like, I don't know, it did not got super bright, which is fine. We'll play with that alongside. But yeah, I was surprised about that. So I'll be right back. Okay, guys. So after a lot of embossing, some mistakes, redoing some things, I'm back. So let me show you why I had to stop and redo this. For some odd reason, it's hard to see. When I was white embossing these, like, it didn't emboss all the way. I don't know if you guys can tell. So there's, I mean, like, there's nice white embossing here, but this is kind of like light embossing. It's not so clear in the image here, but it is very noticeable in the live image. So I had to recreate the wheel, redo this, redo everything, and so I am done. I'm back here. So this is what we end up with. We end up with 6 beautiful snowflakes, all in ombre. I did use, let me get this, the traditional labels bundle. I really like it. It's one of those things I didn't need to buy, but I bought it anyway, so now I have to use it, right? It does bring some really beautiful labels that you could totally use ongoing, right? This is not just Christmassy, and so that's one of the reasons why I got it. And also I am giving away a few of my older sets that I've not used. So this one, for example, was last year's, and I've not used it, guys. Look, it's brand new. So I did like this set better. And so I figured, again, I'm going to give this one away. So if you comment down below today, um, you'll enter in a raffle, and this could be yours. So comment away, let me know what you like, let me know if you like the idea, and so forth. So this is going to be our first card is going to have these. Now the leftover is going to be this one, and I am going to turn this into a shaker card. So we'll see how we do, and we see how we're on time. But let's start putting these together. We still have to cut the base for this card, and I am going to use white. I rarely ever use white, guys, and I know you know that. And I think this piece is, I just chose a piece that's not going to work for us. So let me choose a piece that's actually going to work. And we're just cutting a regular 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So let me just cut this real quick. Okay, so, and I am scoring these at 4 and at 5 1/2. Okay, so sorry guys, I should have had that ready, but it was not ready. So here's my card base, which again is all in white. I just think it's going to really bring up this panel. So we have a white card base. We have a cloud cover piece that measures 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So we have about 3/8 of an inch of a border, and then we have another piece of white that measures 4 3/4 by 5. And this is the one that we are going to decorate. So let's get started a little bit. We are going to add our panels now. And whoops. Okay, there it is. It's kind of like dry in there. Sometimes, guys, I don't know what happens with my glue. And of course it's dry, because why would it be dry? I have been using it quite a bit, so it's probably just exhausted. Okay, so we are going to add our panel to our white panel to our cloud cover one. And let's go ahead and do that. I am not going to do any more stamping in here because we have a beautiful tag with something that says sending love and joy. I think that's all we need. And I am feeling the need of popping these up. So let's go ahead and bring our dimensionals. If you've been here before, you know how much I like my strips. And so we're just going to pop them up with the strips. To me, it's one of the easiest ways to just use. Let me put this back in here to just create this kind of dimensional setting where you have no kind of corner left out, and that sometimes is really important, because if not, your card is going to feel kind of clumsy all over, like flimsy, not clumsy. Okay, so I'm going to bring another piece, and like you could see, this fits fairly well at one edge and the other, so it looks like one strip. You'll need at least 2 strips to add to the edges. And then I'm going to bring a couple of dimensionals in here, guys, because I think that this needs to be also kind of like supported. And although I want to do strips, it's probably easier. I have to be very transparent. I have a ton of dimensionals. I know I've mentioned these hundreds of times, but the truth is I do, because I have a few kits, the paper pumpkin kits. They all end up bringing dimensionals, and so I have a ton of them, and I have to use them. So let's go ahead and use those as well. And let's see, we're just removing all the backings in here that we're going to add. Oops, we're going to add this panel to the white card base. Let me see. I got one in here that's rebellious. See, I told you it was rebellious. Okay, I think there's one more. Oh my goodness, this one is 2, and there's one last one in here. So I'm just going to expand these because it's easier for me to see, and I'm going to remember that this is 3/8 of an inch, guys. I'm very, very used, and I know you know, to just 1/8 of an inches, and oh, this looks so soft, guys. And now all we're going to do is add our, I'm going to bring this one because the other one is a little rebellious, like I said. So I'll add these snowflakes. That's all we're going to do. And I'm adding quite a bit of them, especially at the edges, quite a bit of glue. Sorry, especially at the edges. I'm going to start with one in there, and I'm just going to make sure it's all glued. And as you guys can tell, we have some extra, like darker ones. So some darker snowflakes. This one I'm going to put all the way to that corner. I'm going to bring this little one in here, right there. And then I have this other one, which is the one that has a little bit more of the light colors. And if you're wondering about this glue, let me move this in here for 1 minute so you guys can see. So this is a Stampin' Up glue. It's called Fine Tip Glue Pen. By the way, it's one of my favorites. And I don't love the glue that it brings, but once the glue, you use that glue away, you can totally just put Tombow on it, and that's what I did in this case because it works really well for me. And I'm bringing this tiny one up in here, and let me see where I want it, just there. Okay, so I am really going to push these images towards the paper or towards the card base because they are really rebellious, and that's why I was wondering if we were going to be able to do this without pushing, but we didn't. And now I'm going to bring this one, and I'm actually going to move this. I'm going to bring this one in here, and I'm putting this one up higher, maybe on top of here. Oh no, we're going to keep that one there, and we are going to glue this to the card base. And look at the detail of these die. It's really amazing, and I'm sending it there on the lower base so I can see a little bit of my big snowflake, a little bit of the small snowflake, which I'm going to put on top, and this one as well. I'm actually, yeah, I'm going to leave it like that. And I'm going to bring, guys, one of my favorite also gems. I guess these are not gems. These are called hues of blue flowers. But if you look at them, they also make great for small, for just like a small, oops, a small snowflakes. And we are going to use a variety of them in several colors because that makes total sense, right? So I'm going to bring one smaller one there, and then see, this one has misty blue too, so I'm bringing the misty blue in here, and I'm using the big ones and first, and I'm bringing this one up at the top, and now I'm bringing the smaller ones in Misty Moonlight. So I'm bringing one in Misty Moonlight to put in here, and then one in the Secret Sea tone to put around here. And then we're going to bring the next one to put somewhere else because you can barely see it. See? Like, I'm going to put it there. I'm going to put it there. And I'm actually going to bring, and I know there's a lot of them. Okay, let me move this. I think there is where I want it. So, and I'm actually going to bring a few of the white ones, and I'm going to put them in the middle. So these are the big ones, the middle of the bigger that we can see. And I think that gives it just such a cute touch, finishing touch. There's the other one, and there is, I'm going to bring just the small one for this one, and then another small one for here. Okay, let me show you how this looks up close because it looks so cute and just so beautiful. It's just so simple, so beautiful. In spite of all my mistakes, I am using my hues of blues, which I absolutely love, guys. And if you've been here before, you know it's true because I've been using these for a lot of projects. So this is our first card. Now let's do the second card. Second card's base is the Secret Sea. Let me just pick up all the stuff that we have here, and we're going to get rid of that. And now all we're going to do, guys, is we're going to build a checker card with our leftovers. So if you follow me, you know that I always have pieces of acetate here that are usually just leftovers from our stamps. And I have a ton in here. So I am just going to build one of these, and I'm going to cut it to the size of that card base, which was 3 3/4 by 5. So that's the first cut I'm going to do. Okay, and now I am going to add, whoops, there we go, these to our card base here, or to our panel here. I'm just making sure it fits fairly well. And I don't know if you know this, guys, but it is always a good idea, because these are the ones that our stamps came with. They usually have marks on them, so I am just cleaning it well so it looks good. And we are going to bring our strips again, which I have right here, and we are going to put our strips around this area. So let's go ahead and start here at the bottom, and as you guys can probably tell, this is going to be fairly tight in some areas. Not planned that way, but it is what is happening. And then we're going to bring the other piece around here, and we're going to put it again on that card base. Oh, I'm making a mistake here, guys. Don't do what I'm doing. Okay. I guess I had to take the dog out because she was getting really noisy, and that kind of got me distracted, and I'm sorry about that. So we're going to take this out, and I'm trying to make it as good as possible because I made a mistake. So our acetate has to go against the card base, and I'm pretty sure you were all yelling at me, don't do it, it's not that way, no. Yeah, I didn't hear you, so there's that. That's fine, guys, that's fine. We'll add these in here. So all we're adding is glue to the edge, and even we can add some glue in other places. That's totally fine. And we're going to add our panel right on top, and yeah, yay, we made it. Oh, Maria, right? Sometimes I'm not paying attention, but I'm pretty sure that's you too. Right? Sometimes we're crafting and we get excited doing something else, and you're like, what just happened? Oh my goodness, how did that happen? Anyways, so now we can actually add our strips. Yay! So I'm bringing one, and we're going to add it to the edge there. And then I am going to add another edge in here. Okay, right there. And yeah, I'm just making sure it's straight in there. And now I'm bringing another piece, and we are going to do the same on the leftover edges. Okay, there's one, and then there's the other one. Okay, so now we have our basic part of the card, of the checker card, which is a panel in the front, and then we have our dimensionals. Well, let's say this differently. We have a card, the panel at the top, the acetate, and we have the dimensionals to hold it. This is going to go against a white back panel, which is the same size as the other panel. And I like to do this, guys, because I have noticed that sometimes it really works. So I like to add some of that powder to the edges here. It just kind of really helps. And now I don't know if you have what you have in your stash, right? I have some really old um, shaker elements that I want to use. I've been using quite a bit of them, but I'm going to use some of those. And I think those are the ones we're going to use today. Are these are called sparkle and shine sequins. So these are really cute. They're a lot of white, and these one are the forever fancy sequins. They're both retired. I am pretty sure that you either have these or you have some other shaker elements. And what we're going to do, guys, is I am going to add my shaker elements in here first, so I don't have to think much about these. So if I put them in here, it will be very difficult to actually place this there, and I can't do it backwards. And let me bring these other ones. And we're going to add a bit of them, and I'm going to add a bit of them, and I'm going to tell you why, because it's a very big area. You know, this is all this area, and so you will need a lot of space for this to move. Well, okay, so I'm going to remove this now, all the backings, and we're going to try to put this as straight up as possible in our shaker card. And I'll be right back, guys. Okay, I'm back. I made it. I don't know how that works so well. It actually was pretty easy to do that. I have here, so let me show you. I have some old, like little flowers. They're from Recollections. That's another option. Like, again, you can go into Amazon and probably find tons and tons and tons of options for these. Now, the next step I'm going to do, and I almost forgot, but I remembered, so that's the good news. I am bringing my cloud cover, and I am going to cut a piece that we are going to add in here. So I already had added glue, but I remembered I wanted to put a piece of ribbon in here because I rarely ever use my ribbon this way. So here is my tear and tape, which is, as you can imagine, part of my leftovers from other things, right? And that's why my tear and tape, there's so many of my things that look so different than the regular ones. It's because I've used, they are from, you know, the kits. So I'm removing the backing in here and the other backing, and I'm going to add my piece right there, and we're just going to extend it through right in here. So this seems fairly straight, and I'm bringing my little scissors to cut this, and there we go. Now we can add these to our bigger panel or our card base, and I really like how this looks. Now the other thing we're going to do is we're going to bring the leftover piece, and I don't really know how much I kind of cut, and we're going to attach it here, but I am going to bring let's see. So we have, I really like this Merry Christmas, to be honest. So let's look for that one, which, by the way, is two separate ones. So there's Christmas and there's Merry, because the goal would be that you can put Merry and then this different font. Let's try to that one. We have these gorgeous kind of like bent areas, right? So I am thinking that we can put this one in here and then put the Merry Christmas, or just, actually I like this one better. This one is probably the one I'm going to use. And do they fit? They don't fit. Why would they fit? Because I like it too much. So let's put the Mary here and look for the one that says Mary, which is a little bent. Oh, here it is. Okay. Let's go ahead and stamp this. And let me look for a piece of white paper. Okay, I have one here. Let's go ahead and stamp this. So bottom line, what we want is, I'm actually going to cut this first. Let's go ahead and cut this. And just look how beautiful, let me put all this stuff out of here because it's messy. Look how beautiful these looks. Isn't that amazing? Like that die is just so gorgeous. Okay, so now we are going to put our Christmas in here centered, and we are going to do something that I've said before that I like doing, and it really works well. I'm just trying to see which one I want to use. I think I'm going to go with the cloud cover. Let's go with cloud cover. And I am bringing my Misty because I trust my Misty very much. I don't trust me, but I trust the Misty. And so let's go ahead and bring our Christmas in here. We're gonna, I'm using, okay, let's move that out of the way a little bit, guys. I know I get this really messy sometimes. I'm using that, kind of like that point, not that point, it's not the right wording, the pointy, and you're not seeing what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. I'm using that little point as a guide to keep this straight. And then I am bringing my Mary and my Christmas in there, and it just looks so cute, so cute. I think it's fairly centered. Where is my other one? I lose things when I'm crafting so often. I just don't know where things go, guys. It's so weird. And what we're going to do, guys, whoops. Okay, there it goes. I was talking about this the other day, and Alice, one of my friends, told me, oh, I was trying to do what you said, and it didn't work. So we'll see if it works. And it is when you have your regular ink and you use clear, oops, sorry about the glare, and you use clear stamping So I was talking to Alice the other day, and I mentioned in one of the videos, oops, sorry about the glare, that if you use your regular ink and add clear embossing powder, then it will kind of create that embossing feel. And it's super cool because then you kind of have embossing color of every color, right? Every ink color you have. And she was saying that it didn't work, so we're going to do it together. So I am embossing here. I am using my cloud cover to really ink that stamp set, and I'm going to go ahead and go over that well. And that is one of the reasons why I wanted to use the Misty, is because I can re-ink this several times and make it darker. Sometimes like colors like cloud cover, if you don't ink it well, it will give like a lighter tone, which is cute, don't get me wrong, but I really want it a little darker just because the rest of the card is darker. And so I'm just going to give it one more time, guys. I really think that I need to order the cloud cover ink. Okay, so now there we have it, it's inked, and we're going to go ahead and bring our clear embossing powder, which I have in one of these smaller sets, and let's go ahead and get it all filled out with it. And it has to be pretty quickly, right? Just because if not, it will not get really covered. I mean, in other words, your ink will start drying, and so that may not be, but I don't know if you could tell how it got darker. I'll be right back. Okay guys, I am back. Let me show you how cute this looks. So it does have that feel. I guess it's hard to see it here, but it does have that feel like the regular embossing. So it looks really, really cool. And then you pretty much have embossing powder in every color, right? All you need is clear embossing powder. So let's bring the other one. We're going to put this one right in here, in kind of like towards the bottom, alongside, center within these lower side. And I am going to add some glue to this. And we're going to glue that. And now I'm going to bring that little extra piece we have. This is not all the way centered. And I'm going to bring it in here. And we're just going to tie a knot. That's the easiest way to make a knot for me. And it looks so super cute. Okay. So we added that. I am just making sure this is still centered. It is sort of centered. I'm moving these a little bit towards the edge there because we have this knot in here. I'm tying it quite strong, and now I'm going to cut just a tiny bit more of it because we don't need big gushes there. We don't big tails. We don't need big of any of that. I'm gonna hold these, same as always, guys. I have to hold these, and I am going to bring. Yes, you figured that out. I'm gonna bring my hues of blues, and I'm going to add the white ones because this is gonna look amazing with the white ones. Oops. So I'm just gonna bring some of the white ones around, and they are super rebellious, as you guys can tell. It seems to me like they work pretty good in here because it gives that extra idea of snowflakes. So we have smaller snowflakes all around, and I think that's super cute. Okay, so let me bring this up here because you're not quite seeing what I'm doing. I'm bringing one. Let's see, where do I need one? Extra one right there. And now I'm going to bring some of the some of the ones in cloud cover, and I'm just going to add one there, and I don't know why this is not working today. One right there. Okay, please let me know what you think. Which one do you like better? I love checker cards. I know you know that. And then we also have this beautiful soft snowflake, both in ombre, and all we did was created one panel and cut our pieces, right? White emboss our pieces, and then we were able to create two cards from the same process, I think. Guys, let me know what you think. Thank you. Bye.